The ground started moving and the solid liquefied matter started moving outward, downward, and inward, until a large hole was approximately 50 feet by 50 feet wide and 30 feet in depth. The earth started covering the cube and slowly creating a camouflaged door. 100 meters in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Jones said as he pointed to a reddish silver-like stick toward the sky and shouted, "Go!" Jonathan pushed a button on his watch, and Joan did so simultaneously. Then, they walked into the doors leading toward the ground. "Go!" Jonathan instructed Wanyanyekavu. "We only got 15 seconds to get in, or else we got to do it again." Once inside, they all sat down on a bench created by the cube. Jonathan, looking at his watch, counted 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Joan took out a small monitor. "No one is within the perimeter but these wolves here, and there goes dinner right here," he said as he pointed to some wild rabbits just 30 yards to the east of them. Wanyanyekavu stood but was slightly held back by the shoulders by Jonathan. "I got it, man, I can't wait all night to eat with your way of hunting." "What you going do, throw some damn rocks at the motherfuckers?" As he pointed to a device. "We'll be skinning 3 of those motherfuckers in about 5 minutes. Jonathan made changes to his watch and then rushed out of the structure with nothing but rabbits on his mind. "Please forgive my brother," Jones said as he made adjustments inside the cube. "As I said before, he is a good person, but our life hasn't been perfect, and we are taking our time traveling away from our old life. It's been about 2 years now since we have moved on, and it takes time, I feel, before we can lose our old ways and habits." Jones started opening up to Wanyanyekavu because he admired him. As he continued, "We grew up as orphans in the cold hills of Virginia from the age of 10 and 15 years old. Our father was a pimp in Dougspa, Virginia, and our mother was one of his main prostitutes. As runners for our father, we learned the hustle game really quickly until one of the elite Tier 3 computans who often traveled there from the territory of Old Greensboro murdered our father and mother. We would supply the prostitutes and their Johns with drugs and protect the women from abusive men were our key jobs working for him. After the death of our parents, and an unsuccessful try at foster care, we soon became large suppliers of the drug and weapons trade for 5 years. If Anakitas hated the computans, we despised them. We have depended on each other for the past 8 years, living a life of shame, looking for hope, I guess you might say, for the past 2 years traveling." Wanyanyekavu understood and didn't judge, feeling Jones' sincerity. He smiled. "Amazingly, I have been on this journey for almost 2 years myself, and I'll be 18 in a few months. Sabaoth has chosen all of us Anakitas, Computans, Wakatilians, and at one time, even the Abenians, to be his children. All matters of things have deceived us into staying away from his will. It's not technology, I believe, it's what we do with it that makes us stay away from his will. In my town, we live a peaceful life. Many of the elders think that technology is evil. But again, honestly, I believe it is how we use it, and why we use it. Greed, power, lust, and things like that lead us away from Sabaoth. I don't know if you ever heard of or knew of Sabaoth until now, but listening to you, I know he's in your heart, for you have seen hell, and you just said the keyword to his salvation, that's hope, which leads to faith. In the Torah, it says something so profound to me. It says, faith is the evidence of things not seen but of the things hoped for. You don't know what you want, but you want something better. Something that you hope for, therefore, you have faith to believe it will come true." Joan became teary-eyed as they began to speak. "As a child, my father used to tell me of the stories about one of our ancestors who lived around the 21st century, or so, who was in charge of the main human colony on Mars called Ares Prime." Wanyanyekavu had a puzzled look on his face. Seeing the look, Joan continued. "Ares Prime served as the headquarters for the Mars Colony Corporation. It was one of the first space adventures mankind ever made, other than the trip to the moon." Wanyanyekavu said. "Yes, I think I read about that many years ago." Joan continued. "Anyways, I always thought that it was in our blood to be somebody more than pimps, prostitutes, drug dealers, and hustlers. But it was all they introduced me to as a child. Sabaoth, no, I never heard of him, but if he can change my immature-ass brother and me, I'm willing to check him out. One Inyekova laughed. Well, check him out then.